This is Boxing Talk 8576. I really think Conor McGregor should retire from the UFC and stay in boxing. And here's why. I think he can make more money in boxing, and he can possibly be the next cash cow in boxing for the next couple fights because he fought Floyd Mayweather. Dana White reportedly says it did 6.5 million or something like that, and another 3 million people streamed it. So he can proclaim himself as the next cash cow because Mayweather retired. So if I was him, I would retire from the UFC. He made a good account of himself against Mayweather. He did get stopped. And if I was him, I'd fight Paul Malignaggi in New York. That can be a pay-per-view fight, seeing that the sparring sessions went viral of what he did, and Paulie talked about what he didn't do. So that'll be an intriguing fight, and in my opinion, he could beat Paulie Malignaggi. And the UFC fans will buy that fight because I truly believe the reason why the fight did 6.3 million is because the UFC fans came out in droves. I believe they did at least UFC fans bought at least 3 million of that pay-per-view. So you don't think that they will pay for Paulie Malignaggi just to see Conor McGregor get a win against boxing because they desperately want to see him get a win so they can have some bragging rights and say Conor McGregor beat a boxer. So in my opinion, Conor McGregor could be the next cash cow. He not saying he's the best because because you're the cash cow that doesn't mean you're the best. But what I'm saying is he could be the cash cow on the financial end. He can fight Paulie and he can strategically pick his opponents. If I was him, I would sign with Al Heyman, and he can strategically pick his opponents. Nobody will say, "Hey, you got to fight Keith Thurman, you got to fight Earl Spence," because people look at him as a novice anyway. People look at him as a novice, so he won't be on the hook to fight those guys. Not right now anyway. And what I would do if I was him, if I was his management team, I would advise him to stay with boxing. He can make more money in boxing. Maybe the top end that he can make in the UFC is probably what 6-7 million. In the top end of boxing, with the UFC fans behind him, he can make he can make 15 to $20 million purses. So you do the math. Let me know if you think Conor McGregor can be the next cash cow in boxing. If it's a farce, if it's too much of a reach, let me know if it's too much of a reach. But I don't think if it's too much of a reach. Saying what I just said, he just did 6 million pay per view buys, more than Canelo and Mayweather uh, fight, and more than the Mayweather Pacquiao fight put together. So he could proclaim himself as the new cash cow in boxing. You know how they'll try to frame it, and Conor McGregor then will frame it as he was in the highest paid boxing match ever. It was his first time ever boxing. He's the highest paid in UFC, and there you go. But let me know what you think. This is Boxing Talk 8576. I'm out.